The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
Oh, let's see. What do I have here? Oh, there's this guy here with the 14-inch penis.
Oh.
Ashley, do you know this guy?
No.
Decent size.
I want to.
Do you really?
Would you?
I'm trying to imagine a ruler and then adding 2 inches.
Oh, well, think of a foot long and then add 2 inches.
That's a lot. I don't know, man.
A ruler and a foot
possible?
long, both are 12 inches.
Well, there's a lawsuit that might say otherwise.
That's true. That's a good point.
There's this guy with the 14-inch penis we could talk about.
Yeah, you know, he's, is he a humble bragger or, well, but that's the wrong word. That's the wrong word.
I think he just straight up brags about having a big dong.
Well,
if he's making the news.
If this is the guy you're talking about that's lately been talking, you know, it's so miserable. I can't go to a grocery store without people looking at the bulge in my pants. Terrible.
See, I think he's making the whole thing smooth up. But anyway, in case I'm wrong, which hasn't happened yet, he's an OnlyFans. God help us. Again with the OnlyFans. But that's what he does. He's an OnlyFans person.
Then he wants people to see it.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, shoot, I can't go outside. But hey, if you send me some money, I'll show you it.
Well, yeah, he wants people to wobble. He's on OnlyFans. He says he has a huge 14-inch penis.
Yeah, I don't think he's lying.
Are you looking at the bulge or the actual penis?
There's a video of him with gray sweatpants on.
Uh-huh.
And it's pretty, you can tell there's a lot there.
So there's no chance that he just put a football down there?
Nah, it looks pretty
Okay.
legit.
Anybody here ever stuffed their pants?
No.
God, no.
Dana was awful quiet there for a second.
Well, no, because there was a time. So there was in high school they had a fashion class. I didn't take the class, but they needed guys to be in the fashion show, like in front of the whole school. And we got to leave school to go pick out outfits and stuff. The Mall of America is a whole thing. But anyway, there's one time where we had to walk out in like bathing suits and tank tops, and my buddy just rolls up a t-shirt, goes, "Should we stuff our crotches?" I go, "Yeah." And just made it like over-exaggerate as a joke. And we walk out there, it's just these huge bulges in the swim trunks that we were wearing.
Did you guys get in some trouble?
I mean, like, there were some laughs, and the teacher just kind of rolled her eyes like, "Really, guys? Like, seriously?"
A fashion class.
Yeah, like a fashion design class.
Man, school has changed.
Yeah, we didn't have anything like that.
We had home ec. That's as close as 14-inch penis guy. His name is Mark. He's 33. He used to have an 8-inch penis, which was also 5.5 inches in girth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever checked their girth?
I was just thinking that. I don't think I've ever
have
measured the girth.
No idea. I'm going to say, what is his, 5.5? I'm going to say I'm at 7.
I'm a girth checker.
You're a girth
Are you
checker?
really?
No, I don't think I ever.
I mean, I had a doctor do the length. You know what? Maybe he did do the girth as well. I wasn't paying as much attention to that.
Oh.
By doctor, I mean a spermatologist, the wiener doctor.
Doc.
He used to have an 8-inch penis that was 5.5 inches in girth, but he underwent 2 experimental surgeries, he says, to bring his penis to a final measurement of 14 inches in length and 12 inches in girth.
God.
That's not a penis.
No.
That's a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
That's an ITSA for your older people. That's an ITSA. I don't know if this is a scam,
I think so.
but he says people can't help but double take when they see his huge, and he struggles to hide it under his clothes.
I can't get over the girth then. That's not possible. That would be just like unusable.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like
Unusable?
this
Yeah.
paper rolled out. It'd be like,
Yeah. What?
Well, you were the one that was just saying it looked legit.
I don't know. The girth is kind of
That would hurt somebody.
His upper body looks fake. Have you seen his upper body?
Yeah.
It just like looks.
I haven't
odd.
seen anything.
Yeah, this is so frustrating for me. I surgically enhanced my penis supposedly to make it ridiculously large, and now
Yes.
people are staring at it.
Yeah. He seems torn, Mark. He calls the attention that he gets incredible, but also he says, like Josh was hinting at a minute ago, he's sort of whining that he can't even go out to the grocery to buy a bottle of milk without being hassled. He says, on one hand, I enjoy the attention, but on the other hand, I just want to get my milk and go home. Oh, no, not so fast. You're not going anywhere until we get a look at that pecker.
Can I get a selfie with it?
They say he has, but they all say this, he has an army of fans online, and he's making millions. You know how I don't buy that all of these people are making as much money as they say, but he says he's raking in just all the money you could ever dream of, and he has an army of... He shares photos and videos of himself on, I guess, OnlyFans, but he hides this monstrosity under clothes. He keeps his identity hidden. He hides his face behind a face mask.
Yeah, I find that odd. He must not be good looking or something.
Well, I think it's because if he shows his... This is just my theory. If he shows his face and people can recognize him on the street, they might actually call him out for this nonsense.
Yeah.
That's why. I don't think he's ugly or anything. I think it's so no one says, hey, dude, all right, online you say it's 14 inches. Haul it out. Let's prove it. His fans call him amazing and delicious.
Delicious.
But he does have some doubters here, and I'm one of them. He claims his surgery cost $80,000. And maybe we can ask Dr. P. Jesus about this. He claims in his surgery, they released the suspensory ligament. Josh, release yours right now live on the radio.
I don't have that ability. I sold it on Facebook Marketplace.
The doctor released his suspensory ligament and then injected his penis with dermal fillers and body fat, as well as placing a large prosthesis within it. So there's some body fat they shot in there. They punched out his suspensory ligament, whatever that means, and then they put in a fake plastic mass. Is that what I'm to believe when I hear large prosthesis? Mm-hmm. Okay,
yeah.
good. I just didn't know if I was misunderstanding the words. The recovery process, sorry, fellas, but he said it was grueling. The pain was almost unbearable at times, he said.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine going to the bathroom?
Oh.
He couldn't even get it out of bed. Walking was difficult because of the added weight. Running? He can't run.
No, I bet not.
And he explains here why he went through with this surgery. This is Thunder D. Mark here talking. He says, my decision to get it done was based on my fascination with extremely large body parts, such as tall people, large breasts, and butts, and muscular physiques. He likes that. Marky likey. Large physiques and big butts and big boobs.
I'm with you, though, Ashley. I think he also had surgery on his upper body.
Yeah.
It looks fake, like he had injections or something.
Yeah, something's off.
I do feel bad for people who go on a very public website, sell photos of themselves, have $80,000 surgeries, and then all the attention they get. It is too bad. And then they do interviews with magazines and stuff like that, and then everybody wants to give them attention all of a sudden.
It's miserable what a victim this guy is.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
I hope he has a GoFundMe account.
Oh. He makes a 5-figure salary, you guys. I mean, oh, wait a minute. Most of us make a 5-figure salary.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just thinking
I was
that.
gonna
I'm
let
like,
it go.
Wait a minute.
I thought it's going to take him a while to pay back that $80,000 penis surgery then.
I mistook 5-figure salary being significant with a 6-figure salary.
He could be making like $10,000.
Yeah, he could.
People have great questions here. Now, I never saw him nude. People are saying it's easy to find. But what do the balls look like in comparison? Because I would think you'd want to, otherwise it might look ridiculous if you don't make those a little more sizable.
The balls.
Could you imagine? Plus the wiener always hitting on the balls. Wouldn't that always hurt too?
You mean like
painful.
hitting on it, asking it out, things like that?
Hey,
How you doing, balls?
I'd like to take both of you out if possible.
All right, I missed that the first time I read the story. I missed that he, according to what he's telling us, I missed that the doctor did place some kind of a prosthesis in there. Okay. I thought he was claiming he, just naturally was carrying around 14 inches, which is why I was calling it out for nonsense. Yeah, if you have some kind of plastic surgery, you can accomplish anything these days.
I mean, you tell me, Ashley, if somebody's got 8, good for you. I don't think you need to have surgery to enhance that.
Yeah, I agree. If anything, sometimes 8 could be too much.
But he claims he's obsessed with giant things. What was the other? Yeah, okay. And then there's this
Macrophilia.
Yeah, you've heard of this before?
Yeah, just read an article on it.
Then we go this way. Maybe this guy, Mark, with the 14 inches long and 12 and a half inches around in his shorts, maybe he's a macrophiliac. Anybody with Cubby, where they know what that definition is?
Yeah, I saw the article, too.
They know what that term is, I'm sorry?
Yep.
Okay, Wapple, there you go. Macrophilia, a fascination with, what am I saying here? Is defined as a fascination with or a sexual fantasy involving giants, most commonly expressed as giantesses, female giants.
So this is somebody that might benefit from having WNBA season tickets or something like
Yes.
that. Really tall women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, macrophilia. You have a fascination with giant things. Because it can be a fascination with giant objects, but it sounds like here it's most commonly a fascination with giant women. Maybe giant men also, but the article specifically mentions giant ladies, female giants. People with macrophilia watch giantess porn. Anybody tried it?
No.
No, I guess I accidentally just did. I found it.
What do you think?
Yeah, how's it looking so far?
Is it all big women or big women and big men?
No, I found Mark, the OnlyFans model.
Oh.
His penis.
Oh, you're going back to that guy.
Yep, yeah,
What?
he's on because he's on Pornhub, like somebody like I don't know how that works, but it's a two-hander for sure.
It's a two-hander?
Yeah.
I have seen a brief piece of giant, now that I'm reading what macrophilia is and this and that, it just dawned on me that what I watched one day must have been macrophilia porn. Because what I did watch a brief amount of one day was a really tall woman and a really small woman. And it was all about what the large woman could do to the small woman. And I don't mean directly sexually. I mean pick her up with one arm and pin her to the wall. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't just sexual. It was, look at the way I can manhandle you. At least that's my guess, that I was watching macrophilia porn.
There's a lot of dudes out there with it looks like 14 inches. Because when you obviously watch a video,
yeah, there might be a couple here in the studio.
and then it like gives you recommended videos. There's a lot. I can believe this guy now. That's insane.
Well, yeah, because he had it made by a doctor.
Some of these, though, if they're natural, oh my gosh.
I wonder how legit they are.
Oh, I don't doubt that there's natural guys out there
It's
who
insane.
are. Hell, I don't. Sure, I'll go along with it, but this Mark guy, he's not.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Brienne of Tarth wapple.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's 6'3", and she's a bigger lady.
I was even thinking, what was it? The Alien and Dude, Where's My Car? That gets giant.
Never saw it. So people with a giantess kink or a macrophilia kink, they love the idea of a giant woman towering over them. They also like the idea of being shrunk down, like in that Rick Moranis movie, Honey, I Went Ahead and Shrunk the Kids.
I loved that movie when I was a kid.
So your partner is giant by comparison, and that's what I was just explaining to you a minute ago. That's what I saw in the quick porno movie that I watched. It wasn't so much about sex; it was just kind of a fascination with, I'm the big one, you're the little one, that kind of a thing. 1 in 3 of us have some interest in mythical creatures of some kind. Okay.
Sexually or just regularly?
I don't know. It just says here.
Some mermaids are pretty hot.
True.
A doctor named Justin Laymiller did the research and found that 1 in 3, maybe that's 1 in 3 macrophiliacs, expressed an interest in mythical creatures of some kind. You like mermaids?
Yeah, I do. Did you ever see the movie Splash? Of course you did.
Ooh.
That's one
Yep.
hot mermaid right there.
Wonderful movie. Great movie from start to finish. And sure, Daryl Hannah was slinging all the old school heat in that movie.
Although when she talked in her native mermaidia or whatever, that kind of took me out of it a little bit.
So again with the OnlyFans models, told a story about a more extreme version of this kink, giantess kink, macrophilia kink, whatever you want to call it. You know, because some dudes, and women, I imagine, but like I said, this article specifically deals with dudes. Some dudes, I mean, they fantasize about being just the teeny tiniest little, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type stuff, right? So, OnlyFans model said one dude asked her, or not asked her, told her that his fantasy was for her to use magic to shrink him and then eat him and then poop him out.
Oh, what the heck was that show? American Gods? I gotta look that up.
That happened on a TV show?
Something similar. Is that what it was? American Gods? It's not. I'm close. Maybe Brotherhood, Sisterhood. Help me out. Ian McShane was in it, I believe. I watched one episode, and I think it was the first episode, where a guy's having sex with a woman, and then her vagina eats him.
Oh.
Teeth.
No, it's not teeth. Like consumes him whole.
Oh, wow. I
I
remember
wish
you.
I could do that.
You know what? Me too.
That'd be pretty wild if you could do that.
You never would have to have like the awkward next day.
No, because you've murdered and consumed your partner.
Yes.
Your vagina ate him.
I remember you bringing this up, Josh. I wish I could help you out. I remember you telling me about a television show where a woman's vagina ate a guy right on up.
And I kind of thought, I've heard so many good things about this show, but then I realized this might not be for me. Okay, yeah, it was American Gods. Thank you, brother and sisterhood.
Other people are referencing the episode of the Magic School Bus where the school bus gets shrunk down and they go inside the human body. I think that's a little bit different than what you were talking about,
Never
Josh.
saw it. What's
Yeah, that's
Magic?
different.
Is that something you watched in school?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's an animated show for elementary school kids.
People are texting in about Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. That was an old program from the 50s, I think.
Never saw. I saw the posters.
Yeah,
those are kind of famous.
Never saw it.
Well, I've seen plenty of like movies, TV shows with Amazonian women. Is that what they're called?
I'm not
like
sure.
really tall, muscular women.
Okay.
And I think that's the kink towards them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have to be 6 stories tall. They just have to be bigger than you, is what it sounds like if you're into this. And they have to be able to kind of handle you. Some giantess enthusiasts, they enjoy being trapped or squashed And like I was explaining from that porno movie, that's a lot of what it was.
I've noticed some of my friends that are taller, over 6'2", they have liked women who would be shorter, you know? Like Dana, do you date short? You're what, 6'3"?
6'2".
6'2"?
Yeah, I mean, my current girlfriend's 5'3".
So, but do you typically date girls about that size?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's I shouldn't say weird. It's just something that I've noticed that it seems like some of the taller guys are into some of the shorter girls.
Mm-hmm.
I dated a buddy of mine's 6'6", and he's never dated anybody over 5'3" for sure, and his wife is 5 feet. Like, it's just, you know,
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I guess.
On which end? Both?
As the girl, yeah, that'd be fun. You can just get like tossed around. That'd be cool.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I could see that.
You'd like dating one of the Property Brothers. You go back to HGTV, which also airs Renovation 911, shot right here in Minnesota.
I've never dated anybody over 6 feet. That's Maybe it's because all my brothers are really tall, so I like to stay away from that because it just reminds me of them.
Yeah, I guess I never really noticed, Josh, until you brought it up, and I'm going back in my head, and I think every girl I've ever dated has been, you know, shorter than 5'5" for sure.
Really?
Yeah, it's interesting.
If you're into macrophilia, a lot of it is about being rendered so tiny that you become inconsequential. So there's some elements of dominance, S&M. Is that the term, S&M?
Yeah, I guess
I always
so.
have to ask because I always forget what S&M means.
Sadomasochism, right? I guess.
You're being controlled, you're being
Right.
dominated, so there's some elements of that.
Do you like being the little spoon, Dana?
I do, actually, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, it is kind of nice sometimes.
Yeah, so it's kind of what we're talking about here.
Uh-huh.
You guys actually go through with that spooning in real life?
I love cuddling.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I can't
I
stand it. My body temperature just goes off the charts, and I can't stand it.
I'm with you on that. I mean, I cuddle my dog sometimes.
Oh, there's no cuddling in my life. According to studies, only about 1% of people say they have this macrophilia kink that we've been going on and on about. And almost all of them are straight dudes.
Yeah, people are texting about Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
The big blonde who
Yeah.
whooped everybody's ass? Mm-hmm. You know, maybe I'm a macrophiliac. I'll tell you why, because I remember that character you're talking about, and she had a sex scene. I
don't remember her having a sex scene.
I want to say she was in a tub with somebody. Okay?
Yeah,
I thought
probably.
maybe,
I know the
thought
show.
maybe you folks could confirm that for me, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I'm sure. There's.
Where I'm going with this is she was a big, tall, powerful lady in the television program, and I didn't think much of her character, and that maybe this just proves I'm a pervert. But when her sex scene kicked in, I kind of scooted up on my chair, and I was like, all right, let's go with this.
Well, she's a model.
What?
Did you know that? Yeah, I mean, they don't pretty her up in that show, but yeah, she's a model.
Oh, hell, me too.
You're a model too?
Yes,
I
I'm
knew
a model.
Here's somebody that says, I have two brothers. We are 6'5", 6'7", and 6'9". The tallest girl any of us married, 5'2". LOL.
I also
there
like
you
this
go.
text from Aid Worker Jesus. He says, if you're a guy being spooned by a gal smaller than you, it's called a jetpack.
Oh, perfect.
That's great. Ashley, you're kind of a fiery little jetpack.
Yeah.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
Now I miss drive-ins now. I'm going to have to drive 2 hours to go to one.
Dude, we've
Really,
got
they're really that worth it as an adult, even.
I like them more as an adult because you actually sit and watch the movie.
Yeah, instead of squirreling around the back seat, crying, whining,
Yep.
stuffing your face with candy. First movie, one of our listeners says their very first movie. I'm going to try not to get emotional talking about this. I wish I could say my very first. I mean, I'm happy to say that I've watched it many times, and it was a real thrill as a kid. But I wish I could say my first ever motion picture in a theater was Convoy.
What about Xanadu? That was Socially Inept Jesus' first movie.
Are you kidding me?
I haven't watched that. I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Oh, my damn.
HVAC Delivery Jesus saw Titanic with his mom. He said she didn't know about the drawing scene. When that robe came off, his eyes lit up, and his mom tried like hell to cover his eyes. He was 9.
God, that was so embarrassing when I saw it. I was in 6th grade when Titanic came out, and I saw it in a sold-out theater on a Saturday afternoon. Half the school was there with their parents, and there's a girl I like sitting right behind me, and as soon as the scene came up, my mom just covered my eyes and just embarrassed the hell out of me. I just felt like such an idiot.
Mom, you're killing it.
Mom!
Your mother covered your eyes when the boobs came out in Titanic. How old were you?
6th grade.
6th grade?
My parents used to change the channel at that age, yeah.
I think I would have probably maybe gotten in a physical altercation with my mother if she would have snubbed me from a set of boobs when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah?
That's too old. You should have been...
There's no way my parents would have let me see that in 6th grade. No way.
What the hell kind of goofy upbringing did you guys have?
It sounds like the normal one, maybe.
I don't know.
Wait a minute, 6? It's not like you're 7 years old. You're 6th grade.
No, it was like 11
You're
years
like
old.
11, yeah.
You can't see boobs in 6th grade.
I would have been fine seeing the boobs. It was my mom's decision, not mine.
I understand that. I'm questioning.
Son, you're in 6th grade. Let's go see some boobs.
All right, it's traditional 6th grade time. Bring it to the boobs.
I don't get it. I think that was wrong.
Woodbury, somebody says there's a drive-in.
Oh, really?
Pike Lair 15 Jesus. That's a lot closer. I mean, you'll never go Wapple. You hate Woodbury.
What? I don't even think.
Yeah, when I look it up, it just comes up with Valley. Oh, the Moonlight Drive-In. Nope, that's Tennessee.
I mean, they have I know they have inflatable, they inflate a screen sometimes during the summer.
It's not the same.
No.
What can you do? Swiss Family Robinson was the first theater experience for refinery electrician Jesus. I don't know if I remember that one terribly well. I mean, I
know the name.
Recognize the name. Must have watched it at once or twice. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, man.
You see, here's living right here, Dana.
Yeah.
I'm the man, Jesus. Mm-hmm. Dude went to see 48 Hours when he was 9 with his dad.
That's pretty cool.
Meanwhile, your mother's pinning you down because a set of boobs fell out in Titanic when you were 12, 11, 6th grade. 48 Hours. A lot of laughs. Isn't this something? Our most famous television friend, Janelle Klein, will be swinging by today.
She hasn't seen any of these movies we've mentioned so far.
No, I'm sure.
Well, I take that back. She saw the new Top Gun. Earlier, you referenced Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm. I'd say around 7:30 this morning, we expect to see Janelle. Oh, wow. I dig rapping about all these old memories. You know that about me, Cubby. Drive-in theaters? Yeah, I wish there were more of a thing and I wouldn't have to go all the way to stinking Lake Elmo. Pack a cooler full of beer,
They let you do that? You can bring in your
I
own?
have no idea.
No.
I don't know.
I'm not
I would
sure if you
imagine
can,
not.
but-
I would imagine not. I was just dreaming there. So we covered the first movies we saw in a theater. What about the first movie? Maybe it'd be tough to remember because you were busy, but the first movie where you did some real, making out in the theater. Anybody? Dana didn't get away with jack squat. His mom was sitting right there.
Yeah.
I know what theater it was. It was I don't know if they have it anymore, but it was over on White Bear Avenue. It was a dollar place. That was called the Plaza, and the tickets were like $1, $2. That
Sure.
was the theater to get things done at.
Word?
Yep.
What made that the theater?
It was just
Cheap?
It was cheap. Always kind of empty.
Sure.
They had a couple of those double seats that you could cuddle up in. Yeah.
Oh, even back then. Well, I suppose you're a lot younger. Never mind.
Yeah, I remember the double seats. Okay, so that was the spot.
Yep. And I just remember you'd come back out into the lobby just like hickeys everywhere.
Your hair's all messed up.
Yeah.
How was the movie? It was good. It was good.
Can I get a juice box?
Excelsior Theater was probably the joint we would go if we just wanted to raise hell or make out with a chick. Excelsior.
There's a theater.
It was cheap. It was dark, smaller, not always the greatest crowd. I think it's still up and running.
There's a theater in Apple Valley that we all go to in middle school, and it started to become the trend. 7th grade, boys and girls going to movies together.
Hell
yeah. And the thing was like you'd want to see a scary movie with the girl.
That was the theory. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. And one of the scariest movies of all time that we had heard, none of us had ever seen it, come back into theater. So we're like, oh, let's bring some girls in because it was the anniversary of The Exorcist.
That'll turn someone on.
It's not easy to make out during The Exorcist, but it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done.
I'm
living proof.
That would be a tough movie to make out through because it's just so disgusting.
Yeah, it really was.
Not so much about the scary as it is the disgusting.
Yeah.
Just trying to power through like the green vomit and stuff.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But desperate times call for desperate measures.
You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, Excelsior Theater, that was our hell-raising spot. Oh, man, we had some laughs at that place when we were young. I remember a lot of landmark films I saw for the first time there. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Awesome. I think I was 16 or 17, and then you pour out in the parking lot, and hopefully someone is interested in fighting you. My buddies and I, we kind of stormed around the parking lot looking to see if anybody wanted to brawl real quick after we watched Roadhouse. Naked Gun, Josh.
You saw that in theaters?
At the Excelsior Docks Theater.
Awesome.
That was such a riot, and it was just the perfect spot for it. It was just all us high school kids losing our minds, laughing our balls off at one of the funniest movies of all time.
I'm trying to look up when the Roadhouse remake comes out.
Oh, yeah, I haven't heard much about
It's
that.
going to be this year at some point. It doesn't look like there's an actual release date, at least Googling it quickly here.
I had forgotten about that.
I wonder if that's going to be any good. I mean, Conor McGregor's in it.
Oh, how could you go wrong?
Jake Gyllenhaal, he's Dalton.
Conor McGregor's in it? I hope not more than 30 seconds.
I wouldn't think so, but I guess I don't know.
Here we got a guy in our listening audience who went to third base in the theater during the Lego movie.
Impressive.
That's a great movie, though.
Your boobies are awesome.
I'm hoping it was a matinee or something. There's only, not too many kids in the theater.
Well, wouldn't that be where the kids are at the matinee?
Well, I guess I was thinking they'd be in school, if it was like a weekday matinee.
Dude, this brings back memories from a listener. The Cooper Theater in St. Louis Park off Highway 12. That was a hell-raising theater. That was where the young people went when I was a kid. And beers, rolling down the aisle, that whole scene. Cooper Theater, man. That when growing up in Wayzata, when you'd go through the paper and try to find, like, let's say it was, Back to the Future or whatever, one of these massive summer hits. We were around 13, 14. When you looked at the choices, okay, Wayzata Theater, well, whatever, sold out. Can't go to Wayzata to see Back to the Future. Okay, what else is there? Excelsior? No, they don't have that one yet. What were our other choices back then? Anyway, Cooper was the last place you wanted to go because it was iffy in there. There was beer drinking. There was fights in the parking lot. It was all teenagers, so there was the chance you might run into some kids from a tougher neighborhood that wanted to straighten you out. That's great to think about Cooper Theater.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Go ahead. Why don't you just flex on me real quick? Give me a flex. Tell me a flex. See, I don't even know how to say it. How should I say that? Does everyone know what it means these days to flex?
Yeah, kind of bragging about something.
Right, bragging. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Brag about something. Flex on me.
The other weekend, I had to wear some dress clothes, which is a very rare occurrence as I don't have very many.
You are so uncultured.
And I decided, I thought, well, let me try on the pants I wore in my wedding that have not fit, I think, since the day after the wedding. I was able to get them on and get them strapped up.
Nice.
Fit into them. Felt pretty good.
You were able to wear the same pants you wore at your own wedding. Mm-hmm. How many years afterwards?
It's probably 5 years now.
Congrats.
There you go.
That is the best feeling in the world. Like every summer when it's time to try the shorts on again.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I'm like, oh gosh, what's it gonna be?
Deep breath.
Yep.
They buttoned.
Oh my gosh, they fit.
All right, what about a weird flex?
Oh, I like
Well,
that.
I could easily out-eat any one of you.
Yes, you could.
Easily. It wouldn't be a challenge. And I bet I could probably, you combine, well, I'd want to pick. Nick for sure, and then I'll say Ashley.
Yeah.
I bet I
don't
could
eat
out-eat the
much.
both of you.
I'm not a big eater.
That's my weird flex.
Not a big eater.
Weird flex, but okay.
Well, that's what we're saying.
That's what we're talking about. Is what,
He asked for a weird flex.
I did ask for a weird.
Otherwise, I never would have said anything.
Off the top of my head, if I were to dump a weird flex on you, I would say that, and I've proven this before live on the radio, I can name any Kiss song that they created between 1973 and 1992. I can name any of them in one note. All you have to do is play me the very first note of the song, the very first split second of the song, and I can name it.
I could
badass.
probably do that for Def Leppard from Adrenalize and previous. Anything after that, I'd have some trouble.
So basically between about 80 and 92.
Yeah.
Weird flexes.
I have a weird flex.
Oh.
It's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Hit us with it.
I can shave my legs in like a minute.
You
Whoa.
can shave your legs in a minute.
Yeah, I'm really fast at it.
Well, see, I know nothing about this. What would be the average time for someone shaving their legs?
I've like hung out with my friends before and watched them do it, and they usually like fill up the bathtub and like it's a whole process. Usually like 15 minutes.
Do you dry shave? Is
No.
that what makes it so fast?
No, I'm just
Okay.
I'm just get it done.
Well, there you go.
Ask my wife. I can climax before any of her previous boyfriends. Way before.
Dude, that's awesome.
10 seconds to love. 10 seconds to love. For you Motley Crue fans, there was a guy at our high school that was notorious for being a quick shooter. So when he'd walk down the hallway, we'd sing him that song, 10 Seconds to Love. I bet you can finish before all the others, Josh. Absolutely. Here are some weird flexes. Go ahead and text us a weird flex, if you like. 651-989-9393. I'll give you an idea of some other weird flexes, and that might help you out. Can get rid of hiccups on demand without fail. If I have hiccups, I can just think about it and they go away.
That's a
I can do
skill
that.
I wish I had.
Yeah, I can get rid of them.
Really?
How do you do it, Cubby?
It's kind of like a combination of holding my breath and just concentrating hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that is a great skill to have because
I never would consider it a skill, I guess, but I can definitely get rid of them right away. And, I mean, like if my wife gets them or my youngest, they're lasting for a long time.
Go ahead and call it a skill because when I pick up a case of the hiccups, when I catch the hiccups, it's a miserable experience. A bartender showed me a trick. Now it's been so many years I forgot. Some kind of a drink. Is it bitters?
Yep, bitters on a lemon.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yep.
Weird flexes. I have 4 nipples.
Ooh, where are they?
Are they? Is this a human? I know someone with 3.
Yeah, 3's
But
nice.
I've never met anybody with anything more than that.
I see some weird flexes are coming in via the text machine. That's wonderful. 4 nipples is the last one.
Tree Master Jesus said, I can saber champagne bottles and open beer bottles using other bottles. Basically, I'm really good at creatively opening bottles.
That's cool.
That's
That
pretty
is
sweet.
cool.
I like watching people when they do that.
He can what? Saber?
Yeah, I'm assuming he means like use a sword to cut the top off.
To pop the cork.
Oh, come on. He really can do that? Jesus. Don't get too loose with that sword, for God's sake. It's frightening. I can tell myself what time I need to wake up, and I will awaken within 1 minute of that time without an alarm.
Whoa.
You know, if I nap, it's weird. I almost nap exactly on the hour, within a minute on either side. Like from the last time I look at the clock, specifically. It's really weird, and it's consistent. I don't think I've ever been surprised with how long I slept or woke up super early.
That is interesting.
So
we were
like
just
your naps always last like 42 minutes or something like that?
Well, he said an hour.
about an hour.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is there a trouble with understanding with the words that are coming out of me and Josh's mouth?
Nah, sometimes.
I'm just busting your balls. Don't panic. We were just talking recently about Dana, Josh, you sorry bastards, you wake up so early even on your off days.
Yep.
That's impressive, Josh. I don't know if I'd call it impressive. Interesting that whenever you nap, it's almost square on the nuts 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, within 1 to 2 minutes tops on either end of that exact hour.
Like I've said before, when I fall asleep, doesn't matter if it's the middle of the day or at night, when I fall asleep, it's anybody's guess. Anybody's guess when I'm going to wake up. You have to wake me up. I could sleep for days.
Lake Street Handshake Jesus can spend his entire paycheck in about 20 minutes with all the bills he has.
Yeah, that's the best.
That's a common skill, especially nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Another weird flex, I can always pick the exact right size container to put leftovers in.
I've surprised myself before by really screwing that up.
I don't think I've ever screwed that up. But maybe it's because I spend I like cooking and stuff, so maybe that helps.
I almost never have leftovers. I just like to eat and, as I mentioned, sleep. Another weird flex, I can read hieroglyphics, ancient Greek and Latin.
That is sweet.
That's cool. You know, you guys could tell me you could, and I would believe you.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to proofread or correct us or anything.
Well, he said it.
I'm going to start telling people that I can.
Gold Star loser Jeebus said his flex is he can bore a person in 20 seconds.
Oh, I have a blue mole. Everyone thinks it's blue highlighter that I somehow got on my forehead, but it's a blue mole.
On the forehead, too.
That's interesting.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I can't read this next flex because it gets kind of dirty. I can play the intro of Thunderstruck on guitar with only one hand, but not with two. Is our latest weird flex. Well, that's how Angus does it in concert, so why would you even want to try to play it with two? I am completely immune to plants that are poison to the skin, poison ivy, poison oak, etc.
Interesting.
This is really fun and fascinating. I wish we would have started this topic a long time ago. We got on the conversation of flexing, bragging, and then it evolved to a weird flex. What's a weird flex that you have? We turned it over to the brother and the sisterhood, and they've been sending us their text messages. What are some of the weird flexes you've heard, Josh? Because I can't get enough of this.
Well, this would be a great one from Telcom Jesus. Weird flex. I'm immune to mosquitoes. No bump, no itch, nothing.
Whoa. Is that right?
That would be awesome.
Wow, I've never been more jealous of a person in my life.
Immune to mosquitoes.
I get ate up. Like, I look like I have a disease in the summer.
Well, you're delicious.
Yes. You see, I have barely been bothered by mosquitoes the last couple of years. Maybe something has changed about me or them. But
as an avid indoorsman, I'm good. I don't have to worry about it too much.
You don't have a problem.
Every once in a while we get a stray, but I'm fine.
That makes me think, I noticed the other day, ticks don't like me.
Ticks?
That's good.
I've never had a tick.
That's really good.
I've been in situations where I definitely should have had quite a few ticks. Like up in the Boundary Waters, stuff like that. Nope.
I try not to give them a reason.
I keep a leech on me at all times because it keeps the ticks away. Dead from the waist down Jesus has a caved-in chest, which he can use like a bowl if needed.
Oh, yeah, I've seen one of those before. Mm-hmm. How about the chest bone on a dude that bubbles out?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
There was a kid that I went to school with. The kids in the hall called him Chicken Chest. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. Cracking Skulls Jesus. I cannot care about people's issues with ease. Siblings, fighting, girlfriend crisis. I can just tune it all out without even trying.
It's got to be nice not making anybody else's business your problem.
I just had a buddy tell me that I'm the complete opposite in a bad way. He's like, why does everybody else's moods affect you? Why do you care? Yeah.
You?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a magnet for that kind of thing.
So someone else's bad mood...
I feel it. Not like I'm going to be in a bad mood about it.
You're
but
very sympathetic.
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah, there you go. You're very sympathetic.
Or maybe it's just the pathetic. Demands respect electrician Jesus said I can tell the voltage of electricity by how bad it hurts when I get hit with it. He's getting hit with electricity a lot.
This guy's tough.
South Haven, Lake Living Jesus. I can mishear song lyrics like no one else.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to hear some of the keepers. Let us know. Let's see. Youper Jesus. I meant Youper Jesus. I sometimes have such vivid deja vu that I'm able to predict what will happen or what people will say for the next 10 or so seconds. It's weird, and it's completely at random.
You can predict what they're going to say.
I guess.
Oh.
Sounds like something that should be on a Netflix special or something.
Barsaw Jesus can translate biblical Greek and Hebrew.
Really?
I'd love to be able to. I mean, how impressive would that be? Would you swoon, Ashley?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like that kind of stuff.
Up at the crack of dawn, Jesus said, I can make a woman laugh uncontrollably just by getting naked.
Oh.
Boner Bear Jesus can hold his breath for 1.5 minutes.
Boner Bear Jesus. 1.5 minutes? Is that?
Yeah. That seems pretty good.
I can hold my breath for like 20 seconds, so.
Go as long as
you can do
right
more
now.
than 20 seconds.
Wapple, you got a counter there, right?
Yeah, I can time it.
All right, let's
ready?
hear it.
1, 2, 3.
Little Village Jesus said he can drive and operate anything. That's an impressive.
That is
Drive
cool.
and operate anything.
Yeah, anything.
Jesus Christ. I have trouble with my own vehicle.
What it do, Jesus said, every poop, it's a one wiper.
Oh.
And he said it doesn't even matter if it needs more, it's always a one wiper. Ashley, still going? Where are we?
I'm good.
20 seconds.
Oh my gosh, it was 20 seconds. Ashley
You can hold your breath longer than 20 seconds
I'm
for
really
Jesus.
bad at it. I don't know if it's like all the weed I smoked in my life or what it is, but yeah, my lungs are weak.
You pick him up. You dropped him, Jesus says. His weird flex is his daughter's been able to do the alphabet backwards since she was 8. Is that like training her to get out of a D-dub or something?
That could come in handy.
Wow.
Poop pumping Jesus uses his stutter to his advantage.
What does he mean by that?
Yeah, I'd like to know more on that too.
How do you use your stutter as an advantage?
I think stutters are so cute.
More anxiety than hair, Jesus. Weird flex. I can make myself wild with rage, coming up with random scenarios in my head of things that will likely never happen.
I think we all get in our own heads at times like that.
Definitely.
You know, and I know, Nick, you love talking about our old guy, Ross, but there was our former producer, Ross, if you're a newer listener, interesting guy. I love him to death, but he's definitely a different dude. There was one time he's like, hey, do you guys mind if I take the rest of the week off? I got something he had to do with his sister. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. And he started yelling at us. Were you in the studio, Ashley?
No, I wasn't.
Because he had a whole fight in his head of how it was going to go.
He thought we would argue him taking a day off. So he began to argue.
I mean, he blew up.
And we hadn't said a word.
Yeah, we're just like, yeah, dude.
Other than yes. We had said, yeah, go ahead, go see your sister. And he said, well, it's not as if I take many days off. It's just and we said yes, you moron.
Yeah, so family doesn't mean anything. We were like, dude, we said go ahead. That was great. So more anxiety than hair, Jesus. Unfortunately, you're in bad company.
Yeah, right.
HVAC delivery Jesus has gone potty in 5 separate toilets today.
Whoa.
I like the variety.
Somebody's not feeling well.
I want to know when he got up. That'd be more impressive, like just got up at 8.
Yeah, right.
5 times.
Tears are my lubricant, Jesus. When it's soft, I can make the tip touch the base. The tip touches the base.
Oh,
I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
Sure.
This person said he had a friend in high school who always claimed he could kill his boner on demand and was very proud of it. I think, don't most of us have go-to thoughts to try and get rid of one?
Do you really?
I know I do.
What's your go-to thought?
I don't want to share.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
I guess I've never tried just using my brain to kill a bone ski. I've always just used the elastic trick. Mm-hmm. Choke
you
it.
Just wait it out?
You strangle it to death.
Oh.
Yeah. With
the uptuck.
With the elastic of your underwears. How do you say it?
The uptuck.
Uptuck. Here are some of the weirder flexes I receive from our listening audience. I can pop my ankles in and out of the socket.
Oh, weird. Oh.
I used to be able to do that with my wrist when I was younger, and it doesn't work anymore. Long name Little Wang Jesus. This is great. He says, my butt is so thick. Dudes do a double take at me.
That's awesome.
Your butt is just that thick. I can give myself goosebumps on command, says Slim Pickens Jesus.
Oh, wow.
I can plug my nose and blow air out my tear ducts.
Whoa,
says another listener.
Don't do that. That sounds unsafe.
I haven't missed a day drinking beer since 2000 plus 11. Whoa. Says another. I haven't taken too many days off. You know, it's interesting. It brings up a friend of mine brought this up not that long ago. You know, we're in our 50s now. And I don't know why he said this out loud, but he did, and I got a big kick out of it. He said, you know what occurred to me the other day? And I said, what? And he said, I've been getting as drunk as I possibly can every weekend since I was 17. And when he said it, I thought, yeah, you have. And damn, that's a long time. Every weekend. Another weird flex. A listener says he or she can juggle fire and real machetes.
Whoa, that rules.
Another listener says, I have no sense of smell.
Oh, that doesn't rule.
And the final of the weird flexes. And thank you for sending them in. It was really fun. It's always...
I love this.
So interesting to get to know people a little bit better. I can do the devil hand signal. Devil horns is what I was trying to find there, and I finally found it. Listener says, I can do the devil horn symbol with my toes.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool. Single Father Jesus can move his ears as a pair or one at a time.
Like
I bet your kid or kids would love that.
Now I'm trying to do it, and I can't.
Man, yeah, that's one of those things. Again, you'd be a hero at school
at
certain ages. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you, everybody, for sharing some of these cool, weird flexes.
Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks.
Carjacking. All the kids are involved these days. In case you haven't watched the news lately, it's a crazy hot trend. And it's so strange, isn't it, Josh, the way carjacking returned with such a vengeance?
Yeah, I mean, you just didn't hear about it for so long.
In the early to mid-'90s, that's when carjacking, that's when that phrase was born.
And when did scumbags discover what a catalytic converter was?
Yeah, good question.
Now all the scumbags know about them.
All these years went by, didn't hear word one about carjacking, but now that's all the young people want to do is vape and carjack. That's all they want to do now.
It's so different. Like, your car stereo is safe. Where growing up in our generation, your car stereo's in trouble. You take the face off, you do everything. I mean, nowadays you can set your car, just take it out for them. They're not going to take it. They want that catalytic converter.
Right.
They eat them. Did you know
they eat them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the new trend. Huh.
They tasty?
I've never had one.
Maybe it'll be at the Mother's Day brunches. They'll have a catalytic converter section.
Well, maybe I'll try half of one. I can't.
A little bit of a metallic taste.
I would think so.
The new record holders, as far as I know, for carjacking, 2 boys. One of them is 6 years old. The other is 3. They were busted a couple nights ago in, Malaysia. 6 and 3. And I imagine these 2 were going to lose their jobs over this.
In Malaysia? You might be right.
Yeah.
All right, I've been playing with you a little bit here. These 2 kids are 6 and 3 years old, but what they specifically did was swipe their own parents' car. Still impressive, just not as criminal as what I was throwing your way. These kids, brothers, 6 and 3, they crashed their folks' real car while they were driving to go buy a toy car. It was a late-night joyride that thankfully ended without anyone getting mangled. The 2 brothers were picked up by local police after losing control and crashing smooth into a lamppost.
I wonder how far they made it.
It says here, Cubby, 1.5 miles.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
They were headed to the mall to buy a new toy car. The cops said that they were driving a Toyota, as some of the older guys say it, that I know, that they were driving a Toyota. They attracted the attention of other drivers because they assumed the driver was drunk.
Yeah, they had like a line of people following them.
Yeah, some citizens chose to follow them without knowing it was a 6 and a 3-year-old in there. They thought it was just your typical drunk driver, because I bet they had that vehicle wobbling a little bit as it went down the road.
Good thing they did.
The boys had snuck out the house while their mother was in the John, and the old man was asleep, and that's when they upped and took their folks' vehicle. Mile and a half before they wrapped the car around a light pole. 6-year-old was behind the wheel, and cops did find out he was intoxicated. No, I'm kidding. The 3-year-old was the navigator. Apparently, there's video of the boys talking to folks after the crash. You know, these folks that were following them down the road thinking they were a drunk adult walk up and find out, for Christ's sake, it's a kindergartner and his younger brother. There's video of the boys talking to folks after the crash. The kids said they wanted to go to a toy store to buy a model car. One of them even says, "Mama is at home and we are going to the store." The older boy had a little cut on his chin. The other kid was uninjured. But the cops are thinking of tossing a charge of reckless driving on these two little pot lickers. I bet the old man's pretty pumped about that, right, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised they're going to do that.
Mom's like, oh my gosh, I can't even have 2 minutes in the bathroom.
At 6, you guys think you could start a car, get it, in reverse?
Nope.
And yeah,
No.
that's the impressive part.
How did he reach the pedals?
Well,
Yeah, good question.
I don't know. Maybe he's an extraordinarily tall kid.
Maybe just toss the
look that tall.
3-year-old down there.
I remember just in 3rd grade telling my dad, yeah, I could easily drive this thing. And he's like, oh really? You think you could drive this car? He's like, all right, how do you go in reverse? I'm like, well, easy. You just turn the wheel. And I thought that because in our drive or our garage, my dad would have to crank the wheel to get to the alley. Like he'd have to crank. So I assumed that's how you backed up. I'm an idiot. And this kid's 6.
At 6, I don't even think I could buy a model car.
Yeah, do they have money on them, do you think?
What are you talking about?
You talking about getting the toy?
Yeah, they were going to the store to buy
These
a
are
model
criminals.
car.
They're clearly going to steal it.
Well, no 6-year-olds walking around with 20s in their pocket. I imagine
They might have grabbed some from mom and dad.
I think that was a detail that was left out of the story. They must have, been given an allowance recently. Or isn't it funny that that's what Wapple's focusing on with this story?
I love that. Yeah, you Wapple.
you always seem to find.
He's a big thinker.
Yeah,
You're a big thinker.
Yeah, I'm a detail guy.
Now, Dana, you asked if you think we could have started a car and driven it at 6. I don't know about starting it, but my brother and I should have been dead at 6 years old. The old man left when we were about 6, maybe even younger. Our old man left us in his running El Camino, Josh.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
And I'll tell you what, my dad's 81 years old, and pretty much once every couple of months, he still to this day brings up the regret of ever selling his El Camino.
I hear that a lot from guys around your dad's age. Like the cars they used to have.
Oh, damn. He could tell you every damn car he ever had and what he loved about. There's that noise again.
I'm not hearing it.
I heard it that time.
I heard it earlier. I didn't hear that one, though.
So my brother
What do you
and
mean
I...
by that one? We just caught you in a lie.
No, the one that you guys were referring to.
My brother and I were very, very young, maybe even under 6, and he left us in the running El Camino, and just dopey little kids, we started yanking on the gear shift. What does this do? What does that do? And we threw the pig into reverse. And we were backing up, completely helpless and clueless. We were rolling towards a busy highway. We would have certainly been killed or disabled. And our dad, luckily, saw us backing towards instant death. And I do have a memory of him diving through the open window to throw the vehicle into park or hit the brake. I can't remember what he did. But so... there you go. At least we had that skill set. We were able to knock it into gear.
I remember that happened at one of the Average Joe car shows.
Oh, my gosh. That's right.
That dude was the best athlete I've ever seen.
And his car, that would have went over. That was what, like a 4-foot drop?
Yeah.
And he had a little kid in there.
Little kid accidentally hit the shifter and it started going in reverse.
Good memory,
Really?
dude.
Dad just jumped in there. You could see his legs kicking out the window.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that guy's a friggin' hero. I don't know
Super
how he
dads.
stopped that.
I haven't thought about that in years, Wapple. That was a dramatic moment. Okay, I have listeners texting in. Some are claiming they also heard something in the background when we were having this conversation. I guess we'll stay tuned to see if.
Did your folks let you guys play in the car? We used to play all the time.
Yep, I used to play teenagers, so we would sit in the car and pretend we were driving to the mall.
We'd be in there. You know, my folks, if they went to the mall, speaking of the mall, let's say they're in the mall, and they're like, all right, you guys can sit and play in the car, but we got to make sure we lock the doors and leave the windows rolled up in the middle of summer here so nobody kidnaps you. Nowadays, they'd be in jail.
Mm-hmm. So your parents never rolled up the windows or locked the doors when you were playing in the car?
No, they did.
They
is what
did.
I'm saying,
Oh, and you could have cooked to death.
Easily.
Oh, Jesus.
There were times where I'm like, I've lost a lot of body weight waiting for mom and dad here.
Hey,
but you know, we
car
didn't
was
care.
so better than the store, though, sometimes.
Oh, way better.
What's that?
That hot car was so much better than having to go into the store sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not joking about that type of thing, obviously.
Oh, sure,
I'm just saying, like, you know, back then it was just so different. And I wonder now, if, let's say, a kid puts it in gear and hits another car, how much, are there legal ramifications or what's it? Back then, I don't think there would have been.
Yeah, wait in the car. That statement was probably one of the top 10 things I ever heard my parents say growing up. Wait in the car, wait in the car. Absolutely, we could play in the car. And there was some fun to be had when mom and dad would go in my folks' case, it was usually a bar, you know, hang out here while we have a couple. And there was fun to be had playing in the car, but I loved when they let us come into the bar with them. It was so much fun to hear the adults saying adult things, you know, and things. And the old man would let us play the jukebox or let us try to play pool. Maybe it's part of why I enjoy a bar scene so much. At a very young age, we were allowed to kind of experience it. So,
boy, I still like just to sit in the car. I don't know, from back in the maybe just residuals.
Well, yeah, but nowadays it's more of a. Did you do this as a child? Because I've seen you sit in the car. It's a lot of rocking and crying.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
I have a serious problem.
A lot
with
of
that.
screaming. Why? You know.
Yeah, Ashley sits in the car for like hours at a time when she gets somewhere.
Yeah,
rocking, crying.
Especially when I get home from work, because I think part of it is because I know that when I get in, I've got dogs to take care of, and I'll just sit there on my phone. Next thing I know, it's been an hour and a half, and I'm like, okay, need to get out of the car now.
You know, it's so much so that happened where you made me very concerned. It's been a long time since I've really been on Twitter, but I saw you tweet about it, that you've been sitting in the car for a long time.
What's going on at home?
And I just chill. I don't know. I get comfy.
I called Dana, and I was like, is she okay, man? Why is she home just sitting in her car?
Is that why you texted me that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was...
we were both mutually concerned. Like, well, I can't remember who was concerned, but we both saw the tweet. I was like, what God, what's going on with her?
I was like, nah, I'm just weird.
Like, did we need to talk to her?
That's what I thought. I thought something was terribly wrong.
It's just my favorite place to be. I love being in my car.
Yeah, she'll sometimes sit in the parking lot, too, after work. She'll be out there for a little bit.
I'll be in here doing stuff, and she'll have taken off, and I go there, she's still just sitting in her car. I remember one time I tap on the window, I'm like, are you all right? And she's like, yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Never better.
I'm in my happy place.
The dogs are in the house waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. You see, that's why cats are where it's at.
Yeah, true.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
There's a thread online where people are talking about the cranky boomer opinions, okay, that they actually agree with. And this isn't the millennial versus boomer thing that was so hot, whatever, a couple of years ago, where everything was okay boomer, and I can't remember all the gimmicks that went along, but I think most folks know what I'm talking about. There was that big boomer versus millennial trend for a while. This is a little different. People are talking about the cranky boomer opinions that they actually agree with, and it's people of all ages who are validating boomer takes, as they say these days.
Boomer
takes, okay? See what you think of this.
By the way, real quick, the brother and sisterhood, our brethren, tell me that we're Gen X.
Okay.
That sounds cooler.
Appreciate all your help. I will forget that by 7 a.m., I'm sure. I don't know why. I can't keep track of all that stuff, but thanks for... We are Gen X, meaning you and I?
You and I, yeah. I believe we're both same generation.
Okay, then just for the record, what about the younger people here?
I have absolutely no clue.
I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
And then I think Ashley is Gen Z, they call it.
Okay. Dang, I made myself younger than I am.
Right. So, I mean, the youngest person here is Ashley. She's what, 25?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Wapple
Gen Z.
is 30. Mm-hmm. Dana's 37 or 38.
37.
Cubby is
47.
God, you're still so stinking. I thought you were closer to. I'm 51. But we collectively we are 3 different groups.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's cool.
That's effing me up. Okay. Boomer opinions that people of all ages agree with. Here are 10 keepers. People share way too much on social media. That's a boomer take, but everyone agrees with it. And how could you argue that? Social media is such an absolute flaming pile of garbage.
Okay, Gen Xer. Jeez, listen to this guy.
Oh, you just got roasted.
No, it is crazy how much people share on social media. I mean, there's people in my life that it kind of surprises me.
It's just garbage, me, listen to me, look at me. I can't stand it.
I got to say, I even find out stuff about my family from other people who are like, yeah, I saw so-and-so posted this on Facebook or whatever. Or, hey, I hear you got this coming up. I'm like, how the heck would you know something like that? And then I find out it's on social media.
Here is my favorite thing about social media, and I bet you every one of you knows somebody like this. Everything they talk about relates to social media, right? You run into them at the bar, you run into them at a ball game, and they say, hey, did you see that Donnie got married? And I would say, oh, no, really, Donnie got married. And they say, yeah, saw it on social media. You'll run into them 2 days later. Hey, did you hear about that story in Minneapolis? And you'll go, no, I didn't hear about yeah, a guy did this and this. And then I might say, well, how'd you find that? I saw it on social media, okay? So everything that they bring up is related to social media. And then I will ask them, hey, I heard on social media someone was saying this or this, and they'll say, I never look at that stuff. Or you'll call them out for being a social media person, and they go, I never look at that. I'm never on Facebook. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's a weird deal where they will volunteer all this social media information, but if you ever call them a social media fanatic, they will deny it down to the last second. You guys don't know anyone like that? Maybe that's an older person thing.
No.
Yeah, I just don't deny it. Like, yeah.
Okay, maybe it's because...
But I could see somebody like on their Snap story complaining, can you believe this guy said that I'm a social media whatever?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm actually, my youngest, I've had to scold him a couple times because he likes to watch some YouTube stuff, and then he'll throw out like a not necessarily inflammatory statement, but just a statement on something. Like the other day, he said, Apple hasn't had any new ideas in 10 years or something like that. I'm like, oh, excuse me? Are you the tech expert in the house? I'm like, please go on and explain why you came up with this opinion, because I'm sure you came up with that opinion. I'm like, just curiosity. Explain this to me.
Basically just quoting what they read.
Right. And he's done that a few times, and it drives me nuts. And maybe I shouldn't get that irked about it, but I can't stand that when somebody throws something out, they don't really know why. They saw it somewhere. They have nothing to back it up.
I hear you.
And you can argue point for point, but they don't really know. So I'm like, you got to stop doing that just because some 16-year-old kid that likes the same football team as you brought this up on YouTube.
That's a beautiful thing right there. I'm glad that you call him out for that. I don't care how old you are. You should be called out for stuff like that. Don't be just spraying statements around town with nothing to back it up. All right, another one of these boomer opinions that everyone agrees with. Screw touch screens. I want physical buttons, especially in the car.
No, I like my touch screen.
Oh, I see what yeah. You know what? I always wanted everything to be a touch screen before a lot of things became touch screens. I like a little of both, but I know what you mean about having knobs and dials, and maybe that's the same thing, and buttons in the car for sure. You know, you don't want to be staring at your screen there.
I guess all I can say on that subject is I've got a touch screen in my motor vehicle, and, you know, I listen to music. You guys like music?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing tune in occasionally.
And when I try to change the song forward or backward, I got to take off my gloves. Like in the wintertime. I guess that's a small inconvenience. Other than that, I don't really care about touch screens versus physical.
But like turning up the fan on the heater or something. You know, instead of going through menus, I'd much rather have, you know, something I can turn or press.
Okay.
Easy, like a button.
That's a different kind of a spin then, sure.
Like electric vehicles, how it's just a giant iPad in a lot of them. That's something, that's like, you know, there's a few reasons I'm not ready for an electric vehicle, but that's one of them.
I've never been in an electric vehicle, so there you go. Boomer opinion that everyone agrees with, going to concerts and everyone has their stupid phone up in the air.
Yeah, I hate that.
That was
I hate
annoying.
that.
I will never own an e-reader. Nothing compares to a real paper book.
Oh, I much prefer an e-reader, actually.
E-reader?
Yeah, I agree with them. I prefer actual books. I actually like, I'll specifically only get hardcover, too. It's better than paperback.
Okay.
I'm like
Makes me feel cool.
I'm an artist's dream or an author's dream because I'll buy the hardcover and then I'll still buy the ebook. And then sometimes I also buy the audiobook.
And then go to the movie.
Yeah.
When it
And
turns into
wait for the movie.
That's awesome.
I prefer to read the e-reader, you know, on my tablet or whatever. But if it's a book that's something like I care about that I want to put on the shelf, you know, say, you know, like Dave Grohl came out with a book recently. Like I wanted to own that, have a physical copy of it, you know, just to have.
That's how I feel. So I don't really read. I like having, you can have a ton of books on there for whatever you're into, and you just carry around this e-reader.
Is an e-reader just like your laptop computer?
Laptop, phone, tablet, anything like that, yeah.
I mean, like Amazon, they make their own that are the Kindle, which is very popular. And some of them are kind of, they almost look like pieces of paper.
I'd have to see one to fully understand it, I think, an e-reader. Maybe I'll try one someday. I don't know, maybe when Sami Zayn writes his autobiography, maybe I'll read that on an e-read. I want to read articles online without entering an email, creating an account, and giving out my phone number, say boomers, and most of us agree with that.
Yeah, that is the worst.
It's a pain in the butt.
I want to speak to a real person on the phone when I have to call a business. Automated customer service lines are the worst.
I kind of like not having to talk to someone.
I know what you mean to a certain extent, but there's some times where they just do not let you talk to a real person.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're just going to outrage like, let me talk to a person.
Or like you'll go through, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And everything is no. That's not your issue.
All right.
And my doctor's office even is trying to push more video visits. If you, they ask you to schedule online. Like I called and they're like, we're going to send you a text message with a link to schedule online. I'm like, okay. So I do that and they're like, how about a video visit? I'm like, nah, I should probably go in for this. How about a video visit? You know, they just keep. And I was telling Nick this off the air. I don't think I told you guys this. So I scheduled the video visit with this doctor last week when my ears were all messed up. And she's like, well, you know, it's kind of hard. She's kind of almost rude about it. You know, it's a little hard to diagnose your ears over a video visit. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. I called. They said video. I went online. It made me do video. I did whatever I could.
You were just following orders.
Yeah, I just did what they told me to do.
Hey, this wasn't my idea, lady.
No, I
do a video visit.
I was ready to come in.
Isn't it something that doctors' visits are now video visits? And Cubby's latest problems were with his penis and the insides of his ears.
Yeah.
That makes for a real comfortable video visit with the doctor.
I'm a little worried about that. I had to make a penis visit follow-up, and it's video.
When is this happening?
End of February.
Link me in on this.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering, like...
on my e-reader.
What if he asks to see it? I can't do something like that.
You got to haul it out, son.
I can't. Not over video.
Whip it out, man.
Unleash the fury. Another boomer opinion that all generations agree with. Paper menus are far superior to QR codes.
Remember how confused we were the first... I was with you the first time we did that, and luckily we've got some hip, trendy bosses in this building that we were with.
Dude, Josh and I are at a bar restaurant. We're waiting on a couple of the big bosses. You guys don't have to worry about it. It's the kind of meetings you guys will never be invited to. We're waiting on the two big bosses to join us for a dinner date kind of a thing, and we're sitting there forever. And I think you said, why has none of the staff brought us a menu yet? And I was thinking the same thing. We've been sitting here forever. Where's the menu? And there was some kind of a squirrely design on the table. Was that what happened, Josh?
Yeah, it was a QR code on the table.
And I said, I have no idea what to do with this.
We got to say, like, this is one of the first times we'd gone out after the pandemic. This is shortly afterwards, where restaurants were back. And I didn't realize, and I only go to, like, casual, like pick it up at the door or sit there for 5-minute places.
Burger King, yeah.
Yeah, like something like that. And so this was actually a restaurant, and I hadn't seen that yet.
I had no idea what we were supposed to do, and then someone
I thought it was
said
kind of cool,
you
but
point your phone at it or something. I still don't know what to do. What?
I would love you use your camera.
Yep.
My camera?
Yeah, then like a little
and then
thing
a link
pops up.
pops up, and then you hit the link.
Oh, how stupid!
I kind of I thought that was cool, but I do agree with this that if I had the choice, I'd probably rather have a
Give me a
regular
menu.
germ-filled menu.
Yeah, cheese sandwich, BLT, whatever you got.
I would love to have video footage of you two trying to figure that out.
I had no idea what was going on.
Well, I'm somewhat techie, but I didn't know that technology or I knew the technology existed, but you go somewhere and you can scan something and learn like a Home Depot or something, learn about it. I didn't know they were doing that with menus.
This must be a question that this is a question that you folks are going to have to handle. A question that came in from a listener. They must have been inspired when we were talking about e-readers. What are your thoughts on e-tabs? What the hell is that? What are
at the bar.
pull tabs?
Pull tabs on the little screen instead of the
Yeah,
actual
they
cardboard.
give you like an iPad and you can play online pull tabs with it.
Yeah, I refuse to play those. I don't know why. I just think that you don't get lucky on them.
Never saw it.
That is really surprising.
Yeah, the bar that I drink at doesn't have pull tabs, and if I ever go to a bar that has pull tabs, it's just a very unhappy person behind a counter with a bunch of plastic boxes. So
Usually they keep them behind the bar. You ask the bartender for it.
I know nothing about e-tabs. Sorry. But it sounds like Ashley is not a fan?
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
The last time I played pull tabs, we were at a promotion for the station, and I was hanging out with Medical Device Jesus and some of his derelict buddies. And they're like, hey, we got a bunch. You want to pull some of these? I'm like, nah, I'm not really into it. I got bad luck, all that kind of stuff. They're like, no, you just give it a shot. So I opened the first one. I won like $300, and I think they were kind of mad at me. I mean, I didn't keep the money. Yeah. They were very cool. Like, hey, you opened it, you get to keep it. I'm like, no, I'll give it back. But I couldn't believe my luck. I never win at those things.
Yeah, that's
ever.
awesome.
Here's a few more text messages that have come in on all this talk of boomer opinions. Now, I mentioned that in the winter, I'll often wear gloves while driving. I'm always cold. Always cold.
That is true.
So I'll wear and when I want to touch my touchscreen thing to maybe put on a Mr. Big song, it's sometimes a problem. I got to take my gloves off. Here's a listener claiming I don't know if he's messing with me. I mean, he knows I can't figure out QR codes or e-readers or anything. So he says you can get a pair of touchscreen gloves.
Yeah, they make those.
I have
Oh my
a pair
God.
of those for snowboarding. It's nice.
Why do you need touch screen gloves for snowboarding?
It'll work on your touchscreen. Yeah. So you've got gloves on still.
Well, yeah, but why do you need them for snowboarding?
Because then I can change the song on my phone.
Oh, you've got
without
your
taking
phone.
my gloves off.
You
Yeah.
got your phone in your pocket while you're and you're listening to music.
Yeah.
Or musique. Is it ever Mr. Big?
Not yet. No.
Picturing Ashley doing like a 1080 while listening to a Mr. Big song.
There you go. Touchscreen gloves, Josh?
I don't have any, but I could see the value there. I know I've been, using the, what do they call that? That my words are escaping me. When you got snow on the driveway, you don't want it on the driveway, so you operate a snow blower. Yeah. There we go. I know there's times I want to change something up on my phone on the snow blower, and I got to take my phone out and take my glove off.
Here's a listener who is quoting a boomer. His grandpa. This listener says his grandpa recently said, I wasn't put on this planet to drive a car that doesn't run on gasoline. All right, some more boomer opinions that everyone agrees with. I don't need a smart refrigerator or toaster.
I agree with that completely.
Well, I wouldn't mind having a smart fridge or
smart fridge would be
or
cool.
one of those refrigerator ovens. Have you guys heard of those?
No.
I don't even know what a smart refrigerator or a smart toaster is.
Well, a smart refrigerator, you can have basically like an iPad on the front of it. It can do a lot of different things, but...
And you can see inside of it.
Right.
Waffle, adults are trying to talk here.
You can see inside of it.
You
on
can
your
see
phone.
inside of it.
Yeah, you could be like, am I out of milk? And then you go to your phone and you can see inside your refrigerator.
Right.
It's
And sometimes
awesome.
it can tell you like what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, for
You just say,
Christ's
here's
sake.
the normal things.
Are you guys serious?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, like-
and then some, you can even order it on your fridge.
Yeah.
Or order what on my fridge?
Milk.
Groceries.
Or eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
My God, you're just thrown by this,
Dude,
huh?
anything in the kitchen, I'm all for.
That's
You're
true.
you're a foodie.
Yeah, you are a foodie.
Like having Alexa in the kitchen changed my world.
You just pissed off a lot of people by saying that trigger word.
Yeah, having that device in the kitchen, so you'd be cutting stuff up, or your hands got you have a bunch of stuff on your hands, and then you just, hey Alexa, switch the song.
Do you have
Did
one
it
of
again.
these?
Oh, I did.
Do you have one of an e-fridge? What is it called again?
No, I want one.
A smart fridge.
Do you have? You don't. Well, then you got to. I mean, maybe if you get yourself one, you'll calm down a little bit.
Maybe,
So-
or I'll be talking about it more.
But these refrigerated ovens. So let's say you got a lasagna, right? You put it in the oven when you go to work.
Is it Stouffer's, as my dad would say?
Yeah, Stouffer's.
It's a Stouffer's lasagna.
Yeah, for you, it's got this. It's the one you like, the vegetarian vegan version.
Ooh, gimme. Yeah.
So you put it in your refrigerated oven.
Refrigerated oven.
And then you say, I'm going to be home at 5:30, and I'm going to need some nice Stouffer's lasagna. And then it turns into an oven and cooks it for you.
Sounds like a great way to burn my house down.
Or if, something lightly, like how women just approach you and say, hey, bed me. And so you're like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to be rude.
Yes.
So maybe you go to this lady's place.
Okay, now I'm at a lady's place.
And then you got to get on your phone and say, hey, oven, I'm not going to be home for that lasagna. Just keep it cool, baby.
F me running.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I like that.
Using apps for everything pisses off not just boomers, but all of us. Using apps for everything. It says here, for example, like going to Disney World and not being able to do anything, including eat, unless you use the app.
Yeah.
When the Wild switched over to having where the digital, where you have to go onto the NHL app and then you have
To get
go
the
on,
tickets?
Yeah, and
I
then-
hate
Those
that.
tickets, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how are old people ever going to get to the Wild game?
Dude,
The only thing I like about it is if you can't use your tickets, it's easy enough to transfer them to somebody else.
I agree. Yeah.
Versus having to meet up with them or something like that.
I don't know. Wapple, I deal with that with the Timberwolves and the Golden Gopher basketball and the Twins.
Well, that's
and I love all those teams, and I'll always support those teams, but I don't like the nightmare of downloading this or that. I don't know what I'm doing, and I get pissed off.
And the thing that sucks is all those teams use a different app.
Yeah.
So then you have to download
True.
3 different apps.
Yeah.
Well, and
And
I
then
think
you're like, wait, the Timberwolves use AXS? What is it?
I don't know why we just can't hand out regular tickets.
And
I
I
don't-
miss collecting like the physical ticket stubs because I was with a dork growing up that would save all my ticket stubs, especially
yeah,
the
there's something to that.
big concerts or big games that I went to. Like I still have them all. you
Now
know?
take a selfie, you know,
I think
prove that you were there.
with a lot of our giveaways now, it's done that way. So if we give away tickets to something like, let's say, a third place game, old joke, people, I think some people are like, well, wait a minute, I gotta get this app in order to win tickets. Well, that's kind of how it's done nowadays.
But then the cool
And then
thing,
Wapple can't sell tickets on the side that he gets from the station.
they totally got my side hustle
His
done.
income has been reduced significantly.
Well, and then a lot of the times, listeners don't have to come to the station now to pick up tickets. Too.
I mean, that's a positive, right?
That's a big positive. I'd
We
say.
don't want you people in our building.
for your own sake, you don't want to see this.
Yeah, it'd be
No.
embarrassing for us if you saw where,
And it
where
really
we
is.
actually work.
It really is kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's confusing to get to. So yeah, that part's nice.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
I have given my deck to a local bird in the neighborhood because he or she will no longer allow me to use it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My deck sucks anyways. He can have it. But we can't go out there because he dive bombs us left and right.
Wow.
I kind of love that.
What kind of a
You
bird?
love that. What did I do?
It's like, this is my deck.
No, I pay the taxes, Ashley. I pay the mortgage.
And you have a beautiful, big, wonderful deck for family activities.
Well, our deck actually sucks.
Oh.
I mean, that's why I'm not terribly heartbroken, so we don't really use it too much for fear it's going to fall over. But my dog loves to lay out there. And I heard him barking the other day, and usually that's my cue to let him in because he's too hot. And so, yeah, he just took this like 2-3 days ago this started.
Your home's been taken over. Is it a crow?
No, it's a robin. I had no idea, but my wife knew. I said, hey, we got this robin that's attacking the dog. And I thought, well, I'll go out there and this robin will go away. That wasn't true.
No.
It brought back reinforcements.
What?
And there was 2 of them dive bombing me.
Have you found the nest yet? They're obviously.
Yeah, we found a nest.
Oh, well, then
but we don't think there's any babies in there anymore.
Well, just.
Oh, what's
I
the
think
problem
if
then?
you remove the nest, they'll go away.
Yeah, if you're fine violating the 1918 Bird Migratory Act, yes.
Oh,
It's not as easy as I would have thought.
Forgot about that.
Now, if we're sure the babies are gone, the DNR said at that point we could probably move it. But we're not 100% sure yet.
Wapple and I got called into HR a few months ago because we completely forgot about the 1918 Migratory Act.
It was brutal. It was a long talk.
Yeah. Very long. You need to be aware of these things, and so do I. I'm sorry to hear that, Josh. I hope it doesn't.
It's relentless.
I hope it doesn't affect the rest of your summer. It's strange that you're having this avian encounter, because I have had the same experience this summer. An angry-ass crow has been hanging out. Okay, when I bought this house, they had the folks who owned the house prior to me, they had I'm just going to estimate here, Josh, somewhere around an 18,000-pound bird bath on the property, right? And number one, I don't think I could convince anybody to help me move this 18,000-pound bird bath. Also, I thought, cool, the bird bath. I didn't really care one way or another.
Yeah.
So it's there, and it doesn't really bother me too much. I mean, if I had my way, I'd remove it, but I don't really have, like I said, I don't really have any way to move it. So there it is. Suddenly this summer, a big, pissy, angry-ass crow has claimed that as his friggin' hangout spot, right? So all the other birds in the neighborhood are staying away because he's claimed it. He makes a hell of a lot of noise. A lot of rabbits live on my property. They're afraid to come out and play because of this crow. And then somebody or another, a friend of mine, looked up on the internet a way to get rid of crows is to put up mirrors. Crows are afraid of their own reflection, maybe because they think it's another crow. I don't know. And we did put up mirrors, and it worked. Some bitch hasn't come back for weeks.
That's so neat. Okay.
Yeah, how often do you think about or look into something like that? But it friggin' worked. Now, I don't know if that'll work for robins, Cubby.
I don't know. My wife was on the phone with the DNR, and they didn't, I don't think, well, at least if they did say something about it, she didn't say anything to me.
You really made a phone call to the DNR?
Well, because I had just said, well, let's move this thing. And my wife said, if you want to violate the 1918 Bird Migratory Act. And I said, what the heck is that? And I Googled it, and it's a real thing. And I thought, well, does that count with robins? I mean, aren't robins relatively common? It says, hell yeah, it counts for robins.
I thought you were joking about a migratory act.
It's legit. And so thank God I didn't do it. Like, I'm just going to broom handle this thing. I tried my best to I reasoned with it. I bribed it. Everything. This thing wouldn't leave us alone.
Well, I mean, really honestly, do you think the authorities are going to race to your front door over the 1818 Migratory Act?
Now that I've mentioned it on the radio, maybe.
Yeah,
picturing
maybe.
Sometimes the DNR come kicking Josh's door in.
On the ground now.
Yeah, last year we had a barn swallow that was on our house by one of the windows.
Who wants it? Anybody?
No
one. Well, okay, go ahead then.
And the barn swallowed, you're saying?
Yeah. Well, the cat, we would just leave it up there because there would be a family of birds flying in and out. And
I'm totally lost.
So
did anyone else get lost when he said the cat? We just leave it up there?
The cat loved to watch the birds go in and out of the bird home. because it was right next to the window.
Sure.
So the cat loved to watch the birds go in and out, so we just left it. And the cat's just always...
Oh, I love when
The
they do
whole
that.
time.
I've never heard a cat do that.
Yeah, they always do when they're like in hunting mode and stuff like that.
Isn't there a noise that they make when they want to hunt something but they can't get to it too? Isn't it like like a scream type thing?
I don't know about
Are we talking
that.
about birds or cats now?
Both.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about your troubles, Cubby.
Well, people are saying somebody's dealing out with bald eagles. We've got some in the neighborhood.
Bald eagles.
And that would be absolutely terrifying. Now, I have to admit, I'm not too intimidated by this thing yet. But once the other one just kind of, they called the reinforcement and they sat at a tree and just kind of stared at me like, what are you going to do, man? That's when I thought, all right, I'm outnumbered.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
Man.
The dive bombing thing was kind of, and the dog that's out there that loves the deck, it's 185 pounds. It's a big dog. And they're not scared. I mean, obviously they're protecting their family, but this bird does not seem scared at all.
Sorry to hear all that.
Is your dog scared?
He's too old to be
No,
scared.
he doesn't even really realize it.
Oh.
He barked at it but most of the dive, he doesn't seem to notice or
What's
care.
your problem?
But he's pretty old and senile at this point.
Okay.
Years ago, Cubby, I had a big, giant, firm, beautiful-looking deck. You should have seen it.
Oh, I wish I did.
Back when it was in its prime, my deck.
Mine actually is quite small, and people said if you just trim the shrubbery around it, it'll look bigger. I told you, though, it's small, and I thought, I have to get a new one. It's not, the city's even like, bro, you got to do something about this. And the estimates were out of control.
I remember you telling us that. It was like a comically large number.
Yeah, so, for a relatively small deck, so now I'm going to have to learn how to, do my own deck.
That sucks. But I had this big, girthy, and it got taken over, but not by birds. It got taken over by bees.
I've got some hornets that keep deciding to live at my house.
That's what
no.
maybe I should have been more specific. That's what they were, wasps or hornets, and they not only did they take over the deck, but they were living in my walls.
Oh, I'm lucky I haven't had that.
That was a long time ago.
Those things build nests quickly, those hornets.
Yeah, they do.
I had to check in on the Migratory Act to find out what I could do with these wasps and hornets, whatever the hell they were. And
Have you guys ever heard of, I think they're called grass hornets?
No.
Oh, those are the ones that just chill on the ground.
I don't know.
Hornets?
No,
What?
I think they're called like grass hornets. I'll look it up. But all of a sudden I found like dead grass. So our windows are crank out windows. And I opened them, which I very rarely do. And there was like I don't know, almost like it looked like insulation of dead grass all around the windows. I'm like, how that? At first I thought, oh, it must be blowing up here. But then it's on two different sides of the house. And I looked it up. It's grass hornets.
Oh,
I don't know.
Let me double check
that does not
Yeah.
sound ideal.
Yeah, grass hornets and ground wasps are completely different.
So yeah,
so it could be grass wasps.
I can't tell one from the other.
wasps. They're wasps. Okay, grass wasps. Thank you.
They're all bastards in my book. Well, what a drag. What's going on over at your place, Josh?
The wildlife taking over.
Yeah, we found a lot of. I think, did I tell you guys this? I found the back quarter of a what's it called, a rabbit the other day, a big one.
Dude, me too.
Nice.
What happened to the rest of it?
Somebody ate it, and
Probably
then
an owl.
I found a squirrel head. That's just this year. The past, I found a really large rabbit head under a bush. Like at first, I thought it was a stuffed animal that had been torn up, but not until
Have
the
you ever
gore
heard
came
an
out.
owl?
Oh yeah, we definitely have an owl in our backyard.
Oh yeah, he's ripping those things up.
He's loud AF.
He's having fun.
We have a bunch of hawks that get all the rabbits by our house. I found intestines. I found a head. I found legs.
What?
And the dogs just always love it because I find them because they run over to it and they want to roll in it.
Oh, gross. Gosh, dogs can be gross.
They love things that stink. That's for sure.
Nature's a mysterious thing, huh, everybody?
It sure
Yeah,
is.
crazy.
It can be a violent world. Survival of the fittest.
Dang, nature, you scary.
How long can a wasp, like those wasps that lived in your your wall.
They were living in the walls. I could hear them.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, maybe terrifying is the wrong word.
How long? What?
Let's give you the heebie-jeebies. How long before they get squatters' rights and the cops won't let you kick them out?
I don't know. That's a good question.
We had one of the, I think one of the biggest mice infestations in Dakota County at one point, too. It's been a wild ride, and I live in the suburb. I don't live in the wild.
You live in a very nice neighborhood.
Yeah, I live in a neighborhood. This house has just been something else.
That's a hell of a deal.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
Janelle Klein is in studio. The wonderful Janelle Klein. Janelle, have you been enjoying the warm weather?
Oh, I love it.
You do?
I do. It cannot get hot enough for me. I like it.
Gross.
My wife and I, we joke that we're going to retire in different states.
Because you hate it?
I do not like heat by any means, and she absolutely loves it. Like you said, if she could, she'd live on the sun.
Yeah.
She just loves it hot.
Yeah, I do too.
My boyfriend's AC went out in his truck. She's like a couple weeks ago, and he finally got it fixed last week, and so his mood was getting better. I was so happy for him, and it went out again 2 days ago, and I am just like terrified to be around him.
Oh, he gets a little cranky in the heat?
Oh yeah, I mean I would too. If I was him, I wouldn't be able to function.
Does he work outdoors?
No, but he drives around quite a bit for his job. So.
Gotcha.
I never use air conditioning in my vehicle. It's going to be a hot day today. It's been hot lately. You guys know the story, too. Last summer at the state fair, it was hot. It's always hot at the damn state fair. I was with a lady friend, and I was also with my sister and her daughter, Rudy. My niece, I think is the word you use for her. And I took my shirt off because of the heat, and I was soundly chastised for this. I was shocked by the negative reaction.
By strangers or by your family members?
By my family members.
Oh.
And the lady friend that I had with me. They were soundly against this. They gasped in horror. Yeah, and the kid, Rudy, even said, she said this, "Is that even legal?" My nipples were called aggressive. It was horrible. But I was shocked because, like I've told you before, I spent most of my summer days as a young guy shirtless. Especially in high school and into my 20s. In the summer, my buddies and I, none of us wore shirts. For the most part, it was because I grew up in a garbage house with no air conditioning, but it's looked at now, tell me if I'm wrong, it's looked at now as like a redneck low-class thing to do nowadays, to remove, for a dude to remove his shirt.
Yeah, I'd say people feel that way.
I mean, I even catch hell for being a sleeveless t-shirt guy. Almost all of my t-shirts are sleeveless, and I still, every once in a while, someone will make a comment to me as if it's a low-class redneck thing to do.
Same with wife beaters, too. The white shirts.
I love that you started by calling them wife beaters. Enough said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
If you're not being a dick, Wapple, that's just called a tank top.
Yeah, a lot of people call them tank tops, but your feelings came out on that, I guess. Yeah, I'm tired of this wife beater stigma.
So, Janelle, let's say you would have been in my state fair party last summer. Would you have? What would you have thought if I just upped and took the shirt off? Do you think that's kind of redneck, kind of low class? Is it gross?
I mean, I will say you don't see it a lot in like public places, right?
Yeah, not anymore.
I guess I've never
used
thought
to
about
see it a lot.
Yeah.
I probably would have asked if it was legal, too.
You would have asked if it was a legal thing to do.
Yeah, like if you're allowed to be shirtless at, out in a public place like that, yeah.
Here's the deal. The Star Tribune newspaper, they had a conversation with an etiquette expert. Her name is Juliet Mitchell. On the topic of shirtlessness for dudes. Should men go shirtless in summer? When is it okay? When is it not? All right? The do's and don'ts, maybe you might say, for going shirtless, bros. Let's roll through this. At a beach, pool, or on a boat?
I'd hope so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's some obvious information here. At a beach, pool, or on a boat.
If there's a big enough puddle, go for it.
Yeah. Some just being near any type of body of water might be enough to ditch the shirt. She says this etiquette expert, taking off your shirt at the beach or pool is fine because you might be jumping into the drink. You can feel fine taking off your shirt on a friend's boat, but maybe not at a backyard barbecue. That's it. That's at least the thoughts of this etiquette expert. Maybe not at the barbecue. Working out. How many of you just work out?
Occasionally.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's pretty common for dudes to exercise without a shirt on to try and stay cool in warm weather. When you're running shirtless outdoors, spectators will only see you for a moment. That's not the case if you're exercising in a gym. So how many of you go to an indoor gym type of a scene?
I do.
Yep.
And do you see, are there dudes on the what do they call that thing that Josh walks on?
Treadmill?
Yeah, do you see guys on the treadmill?
Ice?
Every once in a while.
I've never seen them go shirtless, but there are the guys that they're barely wearing a shirt. You know, they have it. It's not just a sleeveless. Like the sides are cut out, and it's kind of cut down the chest. It's like, you're barely wearing a shirt at this point. Just take it all the way off.
See, that doesn't bother me because I can't say like, oh, you're barely wearing a shirt, because if I'm a sweater. You guys know this. So like I am that person that will get down to like a sports bra and spandex in the gym. And so I'm like, well, I'm basically wearing like nothing. So
I'm sure that angers.
Now guys are going to try to figure out what gym Ashley goes to.
I'm sure
all
that
of them. I go to all
angers
of
a
them.
lot of the guys at the gym. So no one has a problem with a dude taking his shirt off at the gym.
Nah.
No, doesn't
All right,
bother me.
okay.
Do you? It's hot in there.
At sporting events.
Are they playing?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Are they playing?
No, the ones with their shirts
The person with the shirt off.
That does make a
Because
difference.
then yes.
I feel like you only see that when they paint their chest or like they do something, right?
Yeah.
Or they're trying to be macho when it's negative 20 degrees and they're showing how tough they are by
Yeah.
going shirtless.
No,
I actually kind of like that move.
I have seen it at the Twins game. You get the people in the upper deck, and they're just blazing in the sun.
Oh,
on a
yeah.
hot day.
Yeah.
I can
You
see
see,
that.
so
Yeah.
much has changed. Like you guys said, it seems to you they only do that if they're drawing a logo on their chest, or what was the other example? They're trying to be tough guys in the 20 below. But when I was a kid, going to Twins games, there were dudes that, I mean, even at the old Metrodome, because it was the air conditioning wasn't so good in the joint. If you wanted to see multiple drunken dudes in jean shorts and no shirts, all you had to do in the 80s was go to a Twins Brewers series at the old Metrodome. It was just loaded, and a lot of guys had mustaches back then. So here's the deal. You go to an outdoor game, it's a little warm out. Here in town, the U of M's Huntington Bank Stadium, the joint where the soccer team plays, and the joint where the Saints play, they don't have policies on male shirtlessness. So if you go to a game, it's a little hot, they can't throw you out.
I've been to several Saints games. I've never seen a shirtless dude.
It's just not like it used to be.
Even on some of the really hot days.
And again, I think it's because suddenly there's this image that if you are a man and you remove your shirt in a situation like a ball game on a nice sunny day, or at the gym, or I think people look at you sideways. They think it's low class or redneck.
I am curious when that changed, because even when I was in middle school and early in high school, I hung out with this group of boys. We're always outside, and like 2 or 3 of them were always shirtless. And I never thought it was weird. It was just a normal thing to do. But now I think if I was at a Twins game and a guy walked by me without a shirt, I'd probably double take.
Yeah.
It seems like it went reverse. Women are kind of wearing less clothes, and men are wearing more.
That's miserable. I hate
I see
today.
you there, Waffle. Yeah, I get it.
You ever see anybody? You ever see a dude lose the shirt at the rock concert?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You usually stay away from those guys.
Yeah, because they're usually stumbling.
Apparently, they're according to a lady who is at First Avenue by the name of Ashley Ryan. They say if you're compelled to take off your shirt, at least at a First Avenue concert, They don't have a rule about guys going topless, but they say common sense says you should only do it at a show where a thing like that would be appropriate.
Like if the Chili Peppers played there or something.
Yeah, none of those guys are wearing a shirt. Or who are the other shirtless bands? Blink-182. Online dating apps. A recent survey showed that men with shirtless photos on dating apps get 25% fewer matches.
Yeah, don't do that.
I guess I could see that. I mean, it does seem kind of weird that you'd want to post that.
If it's a mirror pic or a selfie, that's extra weird. You might get a pass if you're hanging out with like your dude friends at a lake. And,
what if you have a fish?
Oh, God. See, I'm different though. I'm a sucker for the fish pictures.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ashley. If you're like out at a lake and something like that, where it makes sense.
Yeah.
So here's something I wasn't aware of. I mentioned that in my mind, at least, there's a negative connection to a guy going shirtless, and I've been saying my assumption is that people. It's not just an assumption because I've heard comments. My thought on it is that it's looked at as redneck or low class. I didn't think of this. I'd never heard of this as far as the online dating apps thing, or just in. Oh no, it is specifically to the online dating apps. Women see a shirtless photo as a sign of immaturity in men.
Yeah.
If they're taking their shirt off and putting it up on their dating app.
Yeah, I guess I kind of even go that way.
Immaturity.
Like kind of frat boyish.
Yeah, exactly. That's the vibe they give off. Mm-hmm.
I still remember every single detail of when I learned about the dangers of shirts and skins basketball.
What are they?
Dude. This is one of those moments that I can't forget. Now, I know this was played out in a Ben Stiller movie sometime in the late 90s, but this happened to me way before there was a Ben Stiller. This was when I was in high school. Me and a buddy used to like to go to the YMCA in our neighborhood and play hoops. And there was one of these overly serious pickup games happening, right? And they were playing shirts versus skins. And they asked my buddy and I, 17-year-old kids, they needed a couple of guys, do you guys want to play? And we said yes. And I regret that to this day. Because, like I said, these were the overly serious guys. I was on the shirts team. My buddy joined the skins team, no shirts. And they were real serious about setting picks and screens and things that we played plenty of basketball by the time we were 17 years old, but no one set serious picks or screens in our group. At this YMCA pickup game, they were doing everything like it was on the NBA channel. And I'm chasing this guy with the basketball, and the biggest, sweatiest son of a bitch is waiting there for me to set a pick. And I slapped into this dude. There was a splash sound.
There are people texting in on that at concerts that they don't like sliding off greasy, sweaty guys.
I can totally understand that because this dude had been playing pickup basketball for about an hour and a half before we joined. He is pouring sweat. I ain't kidding you, Janelle Klein. I remember the sensation of his nipple in my mouth. No! I mean,
was it salty?
Oh, he was. I mean, I was soaked from slapping into this idiot who insisted on setting this Karl Malone serious ass pick on me. I never saw him standing there just right into his areola. God, I quit immediately. I'm not playing. That sucked.
See, I could see that at the gym, like how you guys were talking about guys taking their shirts off. I mean, I don't think it's as much like offensive to see as it is like, then do you have somebody sweating all over people around him?
Yeah, I suppose.
Right?
Yeah,
You're more
I hear
thinking
you.
like the hygienic aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why don't they make you towel off if you're laying on the bench press for an hour and you're sweating all over it? You gotta wipe it down.
Some people don't do that though.
Oh, I've seen arguments in the gym over that.
Oh yeah, I'd be that type. Yeah. Gross.
We've been talking about dudes going shirtless. It's not really a thing anymore. It used to be, but now it seems like when a dude takes his shirt off out at the ball game or at the fair or something, everybody runs for their lives. Josh, have you considered going shirtless during sex with the wife?
No, not at all.
Never once?
Both of us. It's kind of something we both feel is important, just to leave that on.
Understandable.
She thinks it's important, too, for you to keep it on.
I mean, you probably remember when one of those work trips where we went to Jamaica.
Sure.
People were giving me crap, even though I was, at the time, Janelle, I was jacked.
Really?
True story, yeah.
You were yoked.
And I didn't want it. I was too uncomfortable.
What do you mean people were
Nick
giving you crap?
For leaving my shirt on, and Nick's like, I've never seen an in-shape guy more scared to take his shirt off than you.
You know, you had to be there maybe. But, by the way, am I going to get hollered at if we don't get to this right now?
Oh, no, we got time.
We do have time. You had to be there, but we were in Jamaica, and one particular afternoon, everybody kind of gathered in a little... It wasn't a hot tub because it was 115 degrees. It was some kind of a cool tub. It wasn't a pool. It was like a hot tub, only it was cold water. And me and 3-4 other employees of the building were sitting in this cool tub in Jamaica. And Josh is walking around, socializing with us, but you wouldn't get into the damn pool. We kept saying, jump into the stinking cool pool or whatever the hell you call it. And you wouldn't. You were nervous about it. Finally, you agreed. And he takes off his shirt. And he looked like he was on the cover of Men's Health magazine. Abs yoked, lats bumping, biceps thumping. You were... But to this day, I have never seen a more uncomfortable look on a grown person's face.
Oh, I sunk under the water. Yeah, I don't know why.
We were all a collection of skinny, pasty, white, ugly-looking Midwesterners, and here comes Josh, looking like flipping Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And you were so shy about it. We were busting his balls pretty good. Like, why are you so?
It makes me love him even more because he's
that's
so
good.
humble.
Right.
And you would never ever expect him to show off ever.
We gave him
later on.
We gave him the most incredible Snuggie you'd ever seen. We were picking on him all afternoon. We gave him a Snuggie. All right. I promised we were going to talk more about the hot weather and this and that, but we've run out of time. Maybe we can get to this tomorrow. Gooch grease is the topic. Maybe we can cover that tomorrow.
Janelle, are you bummed you're going to miss that?
I don't know what that is.
Good.
Wap will show her.
All right.
No.
Do you want to be involved in our conversation on Gooch grease, or should we do that tomorrow when you're...
Go ahead, because I'm guessing I don't want to be involved.
All right.
Really?
Have you heard of swamp ass?
Do I have to put that in the Google machine or what?
No.
Yeah, Gooch grease? Yeah, why not?
What if I said swamp ass? Do you know what that means?
Generally, I
Okay.
guess.
All right. They're similar.
The men in my family, we're known for our butt sweat. I don't know, honestly, I don't know what it is, but it's just we have a lot of sweat glands in that area.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks.
Did you see much of the Denver Nuggets celebration parade in Denver yesterday, Randy?
I did not, but I'm assuming that as soon as it was over, Jokic was on a flight to Serbia.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
He said he liked it.
Yeah, he said he was having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, he cursed up and down. That's the new thing at these championship parades. Everybody curses up and down.
Well,
Okay. Thank you, though. You know that I told that I don't want to stay on parade, but I want to stay on parade. This is the best. This is amazing. This is... we're all going to remember this our whole lives. And when we see you guys that came out on the streets, and actually this one is for you. We love you, Denver. This one is for you. Thank you, guys.
He had to drop the F-bomb. The coach was swearing. Everybody was swearing.
It seems like the booze flows a lot more freely these days. It seems like they just turn into one big just drunken fest on these parades nowadays.
Yeah.
I like how he had to shush him. Okay.
He wants nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Shut up! I'm trying to talk.
I'm trying to go home.
There was chug-a-lugging. Is there a new word for it these days? There was chug-a-lugging going on.
Chugging a beer, shotgunning a beer.
Shotgunning, okay. One of my favorite moments was Kentavious Caldwell-Pope jumps off his parade vehicle and chugged with a fan. I thought it was really nice. He gave the fan a hug. Mm-hmm. Just folks lining the sidewalks. It was a crazy scene, Randy Shaver.
Well, was it anything close to Twins 1987, Twins 1991?
I don't think I've still to this day ever seen anything quite like that.
I don't think though. I have never seen a parade anything like what the Twins and Minnesota put on for those two World Series championships.
I'm so jealous.
Now, obviously, we're biased, Randy, because we were there in person.
Oh, but I'm just telling you, if you go back and look at the pictures, look at the video of those two parades, especially the first one, it's mind-blowing how many people were in the streets and lining the parade route. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. But the cursing always, the biggest pop of the entire, they do the parade and then they all gather around a podium, the players and the coaches, and they all have something or another to say. Josh just played the audio of Jokic. The biggest pop all day was when Jokic dumped the F-bomb on him. People just loved that. They love to hear the curse words live on a microphone. I kind of wish we could curse up and down.
That would be nice.
It's kind of, it doesn't bother me, but still, wouldn't it be kind of fun once in a while, Josh, just be able to dump something filthy?
It can take some of the power out of things.
It can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It can.
What if they gave us like 3 to 5 F-bombs a year or something? We each got to kind of, use them at our discretion when we felt like we really needed to emphasize something.
That'd be fun.
I'd use them all in like one segment.
Actually, he's out in one segment.
How long would you last, Dickhouse?
But I think I... You know what, Josh? Bleep you! All right, there's one down.
But the cheap pop through using curse words, it's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Go to a rock concert.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you see people introducing bands, if nothing's happening, they throw out an F word and then they throw out an F word louder and you got the crowd.
There's an instant pop. We are sheeple, aren't we?
You guys told me before I did my first stage announcement, you're like, all right, if it goes south, there's a few things you can do. Either say the F word, say like F yeah or something like that, or something about America and the troops rocking. Those are the two easiest pops.
Well, I think we had said also something about drinking.
Oh,
yeah.
yep.
Getting drunk or something.
Yep, tell everyone, go grab a beer.
Yeah, who's getting wasted out there tonight?
Yep.
One of the greatest on-stage, announcing stories. You're presenting a band, you're introducing a band, that kind of a thing. In the radio business, we did a lot of that for a stretch of time, Josh. And now we're too old to go to concerts. That was,
we look like Ozzy being wheeled out on stage.
Yeah, if you get into radio, there'll be a stretch of your career where you'll be showing up at every effing concert and introducing the band. It's part of the gig. But my favorite story ever, related to how you can get a cheap pop through foul language, was a dude who used to work here. This was a wrestling show. Jumps into the ring and he says, "How many people out there like peanut butter?"
Love it.
And it was absolutely dead silent. The dude, people are looking at each other. Did this friggin' guy just enter a WWF ring and ask us if and he stands there. He just soaks up the dead silence. And he says, "Maybe you didn't hear me. How many people out there like to eat mother effing peanut butter?" And the crowd went, "Wow!"
Is it funny how that works?
That was brilliant.
Love that.
We've told this story before, but my favorite and I despise doing these things for many reasons, nerves being a big part of it, but the Edge Fest or X Fest, one of the two, 30,000 people out there just ready to rock. And here comes a band. Our job is to introduce them.
And they were a hit band at the time.
Huge.
Yeah.
They had a really big single at the time.
Yeah.
And we go up there, and Nick's like, "All right, everybody's all crazy. Please welcome to the stage." And then he turns to me, who's the band. He forgot the name of the band.
In the middle of all that nonsense, hyping people up, I legitimately forgot who it was that was standing behind us.
At the very last second. Sum 41, by the way, is who it was.
If you wouldn't have had the answer, I have no idea where I would have gone with that. Because I said, here they are. What's the name of the band again? And Josh dumped it on me. Good for you. Thank you for that.
The worst thing about those stage announcements is there's a soft intro and a hard intro. And a hard intro is when you're like, and here they are, Sum 41. And then they kick right in. And then a soft intro is when you got to be like, all right, who's ready to rock? Are we having fun tonight? Sum 41, they'll be up here in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's the worst.
And then because like they're all fired up, and then you're like, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then you're like, see ya, have fun tonight.
The other thing is everybody's always in a bad mood. You know, everybody's always really mad at you for whatever reason.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff sucks. And I hate to even say this. I mean, amongst all the great times they were having in Denver, there was something terrible happened during their parade, Randy. I don't know if you caught this or not, but...
there was a shooting, wasn't there?
Oh, that I didn't hear about.
Yeah,
and they clinched.
Pardon me?
When they won the title, there was a couple shootings in downtown Denver.
well, there
during
was
the
at the
celebration.
parade.
The parade too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Josh-
they got the person.
Josh mentioned that some folks chose to celebrate on the night of by shooting each other. Josh mentioned that. But at the parade, I didn't know that. Some people shot at each other. Well, big surprise. But a cop got run over by a damn fire truck.
Yeah.
And they say he may lose a leg.
Oh, boy.
It's terrible.
Horrible
Poor
thing.
guy.
Oh, wow, man. But yeah, 87 and 91, Randy Shaver, you were there.
I was there.
An ocean of humanity.
It was amazing. I just, CARE is celebrating their 70th anniversary this year.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my jobs is to kind of go through the archives a little bit and find some stuff that we can use for some stories that we're running in September. And one of those is I was going through the parade stuff. And it is absolutely insane how many people filled downtown Minneapolis on a November day or late October day for those parades, especially 87. It was a sea of people. It's amazing that the cars got through the crowd. It's amazing that there was enough security to pull it off without some sort of crazy incident, because it was, it was just amazing. Nothing but a sea of people. It was just crazy.
Yeah, we skipped school. We skipped school to go down there in 87.
What team will bring it to us next, do you think? Which parade? Who's going to be having a parade?
The Lynx.
Well, yeah, the Lynx would be a good answer.
Yeah, good question, Cubby. Oh, and you guys know the story. I tried to hit Randy Shaver with a roll of toilet paper, and I missed, and I hit his cohort. I hit your cohort, how do you call it, Diana Pierce?
Legend.
Yes, you did.
So will we see any Diana Pierce or any Paul Majors in some of these clips you'll be looking for?
Actually, I'm flying out to California to interview Majors for the story.
Sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Dude, now maybe when you're going through this footage, maybe you can find the actual video footage of that toilet paper that I threw hitting Diana Pierce.
I do have us, Diana and I, talking during that time, and I don't know if there's a reference to being hit by toilet paper, but I know there's plenty of conversation.
Yeah.
Between Diana and I during that parade.
Look for that. That would be historic, because they were. You guys were live on television.
We were. I forget exactly the location of where we were set up, but we were up higher than the crowd, and you weren't the only one throwing toilet paper. Everybody was throwing.
No, but I threw mine from a great distance, and I clipped her.
And yours
square.
was used, was it not?
It was used, yeah.
Tight spiral?
True story. I mean, it's a true story. I said to my buddy, who was that, Randy Shaver? I don't like that douche.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks.
This year, next story happened right here in the state of Minnesota. Oh, no, sorry, it didn't. I was close, though. Peru.
Yeah, it's different.
The story happened in Peru. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about Peru.
Isn't that where Paddington Bear is from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, who the hell is...
He loves marmalade sandwiches.
He sure does.
They got something going on over there, by God. An indigenous tribe in Peru believes they are being attacked by aliens. Now, since mid-July, members of this tribe, the Iquito tribe, they've been going on and on about how 7-foot-tall aliens are terrorizing their neighborhood. They say the aliens are, quote, predator-like. They float through the sky. They're armored and bulletproof. A tribe leader went ahead and said to somebody who was listening, these are aliens. They seem armored like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
Oh, no.
I shot one twice, and it didn't fall. Instead, it elevated and disappeared. Another dude who lives in town said, their faces are hidden and their bodies are floating. They use their arms for balance when flying, but then they walk normally. They fly by, activating something on the bottom of their feet. They have wheels with lights.
That's a hoverboard.
Word is a 15-year-old girl got her ass kicked by one of the aliens. She had to be taken off to the hospital. The villagers have pleaded for local and regional authorities to provide them with military protection. So this story picked up a lot of steam on stupid, unnecessary social media, and everyone's arguing as to how legit these alien claims are. So now here come the Peruvian authorities, whoever they are. They have a theory as to what's really going on, and it's damn near as ridiculous as the idea of aliens floating into town beating up 15-year-old girls. Are you ready for this? Local authorities say they're not aliens. What they are is illegal gold mining gangs using jetpacks.
Dude, that's sweet.
How do I join?
That is so cool.
2 questions. Where's Peru? Second,
Right.
how do I get in on this?
Illegal what? Using what? They say illegal gold mining gangs using jetpacks.
They stole my gold on a jetpack.
What did you just say?
They stole my gold on a jetpack.
Is that your imitation of a Peruvian citizen?
A Peruvian old gold miner.
I can picture it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say they are gold mining gangs who use state-of-the-art technology like thrusters that allow people to fly.
Would you guys try one out?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. What,
Hands down.
Me too.
I was going to ask you, Josh, what do they want in trade for a jetpack?
I'd bet we couldn't afford it. You said yes, Wapple?
Yeah, I think I'd love to try that, even though I'm afraid of heights.
How high would you go? Just a few feet, or would you go for it?
Just a few feet, probably.
Wapple, you and I are going to get jetpacks. I'm also afraid of heights. I imagine the fun will squash our fear instantly.
Maybe
you and I, we'll be hovering around. We'll be hovering around the top of the IDS taking a piss on Minneapolis. The fun will squash our fear. Someone look up what they want in trade for a jetpack.
So, try one of those water ones.
That would be
Oh,
cool.
Can you
those
rent
are
those
fun.
here?
I think you can.
That would be sweet. Those do look cool.
I'm going to see if you can rent one.
There's
a place called Jetpack Midwest.
Okay.
That might be our
Let's see.
ticket.
I want to buy one.
Does it say the price on this?
So let me wrap up this ridiculous-ass story. The local authorities say that illegal mining cartels are putting on these jetpacks so they can fly deeper into the forest while they search for gold. No specific individuals or organizations have been named directly. No arrests have been made in relation to these supposed attacks. Maybe I'll jetpack all the way to Wisco for that casino party we're doing in a couple of months.
That'd be fun.
If the price isn't too ridiculous.
I'm seeing you're looking about spending $10,000 on something like this.
Jetpack Midwest looks like it's permanently closed.
Oh.
Shoot. Explore Minnesota and TripAdvisor both have it. It was in Lindstrom.
It was because it was too cool?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I'm sorry. We got to shut you down. You're too awesome.
I thought you were going to say a hell of a lot more than $10,000 ski.
That's to buy one?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now on jetpackamerica.com.
Well, for Pete's sake, I don't see why we don't run out and...
There's also this it's a boat probably bigger than a jet ski or a Sea-Doo that you sit in, and it's shaped like a dolphin, and it can jump out of the water.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I want a jetpack from town to town.
I'd like
look
an
at these
electric
jet bikes.
I was just going to say,
the jet bikes look sweet.
An electric wakeboard, that looks sweet too. Because then you can just cruise around the lake and you don't have to have a boat.
Oh, dude, that would be sweet.
I want a jetpack and land in the middle of a ring during a heavyweight championship fight.
Oh, that wouldn't go well. That would not go well. Yesterday, I'll tell you what really perked up my day is I saw a guy, he was a middle-aged man, I'm going to guess maybe mid-50s, and he was trying to cross the street, and there's a car about to make a left. So he's waving at the guy. Go ahead. You go, and then I'll go. And he was waving so furiously. He seemed upset or like on something. I don't know. But he knocked his hat right off his head. And I thought, that's good comedy. You don't see that too much.
Yeah.
Knocked his hat off his head?
His own head. And this thing went flying. So he went and grabbed it. And I thought, how lucky am I to see something like that? They can't get better. And then he gets on his motorized skateboard. Again, a guy probably mid to late 50s.
Okay.
And starts to ride it and nearly fell off. I have no idea how he stayed up, and I kept thinking, okay, hurry up, fall. And unfortunately, he didn't. But it was enough comedy just seeing him scramble to stay on that thing.
It's fun to watch people eat turds when they're riding something.
Yeah, as long as they're safe, of course.
Yeah, whatever.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93 X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.